And we can't wait to talk about the Buffalo Bills this week. First of all, I just to lay it out, I thought I was so pleased. And it wasn't just a matter of it being a margin, but it was the game plan that they rolled out there and stuck to it. It made a real difference.
Yeah, and it's interesting. It was brought up in the Let's Go Duffalo podcast, which I listened to yet again.
Great show.
This way, I think Ryan is amazing and a genius. But at any rate, I will say this. I you know what's funny about it? You brought up a stat that I thought was interesting. I've never seen a running back who was that dominant the year before it gets shut down. You mentioned it in your podcast, and it was textbook comeback Bills. I know we disappointed everybody in that Jets game, but we're home. We're going to be out. We're going to be loud. We're going to be crazy. It was the West Coast trip again, like I said, for the Raiders. They just went into a buzzsaw and they just got destroyed.
Yeah, I mean, I was happy with everything the way it worked out, and none of it was surprising, although I did call a backdoor cover last week for the Raiders. I mean, the way that the momentum worked, the Bills were able to seize momentum, and I think that's the difference between week 1 and week 2, is that things were going okay for the Bills defensively. They were never able to seize the momentum offensively from it, where when everything happened negatively for the Raiders, the Bills took advantage and moved forward with it.
But, but I get back to the game plan.
Sure.
Just offensively, how in control they were. So it was like, take what they give you, move the ball, control the clock, things that are foreign to this team a lot of times.
The Bills were 40 to 20 minutes in time of possession, which was insane. And in the third quarter especially, I believe they had 12 and a half minutes time of possession to the rest of the 15 minutes for the Raiders, which is bananas. I mean, I enjoyed watching it. I did miss
Here it comes.
Feast or Famine Josh Allen. I want hair on fire Josh Allen. I love hair on fire Josh Allen.
Well, no, you always said that if he changes the way he does things, he's no longer Josh Allen.
Exactly. I mean, he's not the superhero anymore. And here's my concern. And I think this is valid. You can beat the Raiders with that game plan, taking every pass under 20 yards. You can beat Washington this week, working that game plan. Can you beat Miami? Can you beat Kansas City? Can you beat Dallas? And does Josh Allen have the ability to play in that structure, and if they need him to, flip a switch and become Superman Josh Allen? I don't know if he can.
Well, you're worried about this, but I will say this. You got a consistent quarterback that allowed a team to come in and go and dominate the offense. Third quarter, you mentioned this time of possession. How key was that, the running game, which I've mentioned before? You liked Cooks. Don't sit here and say you didn't like Cooks. You like Cooks in the third quarter. You like the way they control the ball offense. You like the fact that their defense rested in game in the fourth quarter and shut them down. Let's be honest with you. You mean to tell me you would like to have erratic, home run, feast or famine Josh Allen?
You have the option. You want the option.
But this is video game Madden stuff. You want the professional you got last week, week 2 of the NFL. Most of the NFL regular season that you do.
Yeah, don't you have to his point, don't you have to see that the more conservative approach isn't working, perhaps, before you take that leap?
All right, 2 points. The Vikings have the most conservative quarterback in the NFL in Kirk Cousins. He doesn't get more. Every shirt he wears is tucked into his jean shorts. No,
please.
but that's the Josh Allen we saw. And again, I know it's different, but that's as conservative as it gets for a quarterback that's successful. They win regular season games that don't matter. When it matters and a team's ready to run it up, they can't win. That's what I'm scared of. But to the point you made a second ago, that's the one. This is the way you want to win with Josh Allen playing that way. People forgot after Monday Night Football. For every bad Josh game that we get like Monday night, you get 3 hair on fire, amazing win Josh Allens. And I'm still at the point where if I'm going to get 3 amazing wins for every 1 disaster performance, I'll take that. 3-1 of the NFL is worth it to me.
Let me go to one other thing. They were using Latavius Murray a lot more, I thought, effectively, and pushing Cook perhaps to a third down back.
I think you need about 2 to 3 backs. And the reason why I bring that up is because of what happened to Nick Chubb. You know full well you just can't have 1 running back or 2. You got to have 3 or 4 of them ready to play. So I understand that the longevity, especially for the running game, which cannot go away. I understand it. I live with it. I think it's a smart move for the Bills. And who knows? I mean, you never know who's going to be the big star at that running game somewhere down the line. I think you need 3 running backs minimum in the NFL.
I think what was most interesting about how they use the running backs is there was no rhyme or reason. You saw Latavius Murray getting midfield carries. You saw Harris getting midfield carries. All 3 of them got carries inside the goal line, and it was the Cook show in the third going into the fourth quarter. I mean, he went over 100 yards for the first time in his career. He added 36, if I'm not mistaken, receiving yards. He was over 150 total yards.
It was everything I said last week. A little less pressure on Allen, spread the ball around, let that running game go for a while. You were able to get, a 28-point victory?